Hi everyone, Tyler Fleming with New Home Nation, and today I'm really excited to take you to this brand new community called Lakeview Ridge by TriPoint, which used to be known as Party Homes. They've sold homes for decades in Southern California and of course here in Southern Nevada. They have this brand new community on the North Shore, but there's a lot of history behind this community that I'm really excited to tell you about. Number one, I used to sell for a builder called Blue Heron, and Blue Heron built a community directly below this that was called Vantage, and I think it was 33 homes, amazing homes, right in this same price range, right in this same kind of style of homes, very modern. Of course, each builder has their own take on modern, so this is a little unique. Also, there's a community down the hill called Encanto Lago by Toll Brothers. I recently did a tour of that community. So I'm excited because the competition is heating up on the North Shore, and I think it's been something that's been missing over here for quite a while. So let's go take a look. I'm going to show you these homes, and I think you'll like what you see. So let's go in and take a look. And what's so cool is, if you might remember, a couple of months ago I did a sneak peek on this area. So I was in here filming this before any of these salespeople in here probably ever saw it. So it's really cool, and you might remember this. I'm just going to flash a few different scenes of what I was showing at the time. These aren't scripted. I don't have any kind of a camera crew. I want to walk in this brand new home just based on my experience that I've had in the past and my experience of walking into this kind of sight unseen. Let's go take a look at these homes and see what they look like. This is an amazing looking home so far. I'm excited to show you. Let's go take a look. Okay, so the first thing I see on this great plan is I see some amazing high roof lines up there. So this is already impressive looking. You'll see they did a stone exterior out here, which really looks great. They did some paver stones on the walkway. Of course, I can't tell what's included and what's not at this point because we're just kind of getting started. But nonetheless, remember, these are show homes, so they're going to show you kind of everything you can do. But so far, this is really cool. So I like how they have stucco here and they've blended it with other materials. You see some wood up there, which is never seen on the exterior of homes in Vegas, not in this price range. Usually you see that in customs. That's really cool. I see this huge pivot door. If I look over to the left here, I see these nice stones wrapped all the way to the top. So I like how they blended the material. And if I look right to the left, the first thing I see here is a door to some sort of a gen suite. So we'll come back and take a look at that. So let's take a look and see what we have. Amazing foyer, and I see this stairs on a single stringer. All the way to the second floor. Wow, look at this kitchen. This is amazing. Nice big kitchen in here. I think I'm looking at 9-foot ceilings. And what's really cool in here is look how decked out this looks. This is just gorgeous. If I look over here to the right, I see a separate dining area, which is kind of off from the kitchen quite a bit. So it gives you some privacy in here too. This is really nice. They did like a wet bar here, which really makes it nice as well. Lots of windows. And of course, what do you see out the back is you see these amazing views here. So of course, it's going to depend on what home site you select of whether or not you have a view from your particular home site, but it's definitely possible up here. And if nothing else, you for sure are going to have mountains. So this is pretty amazing. There's quite a bit of an elevation. These are all kind of stair-stepped and terraced in here. So this is pretty cool. Let's go take a look at the rest of this home. Over to the left here behind the kitchen, this is very neat. This is actually set up as like an office. I could see someone in here working with recipes and that sort of thing. They're close to the kitchen, kind of a command center. This is kind of neat. It's a huge room and it's got a good location. Again, this is just amazing. Look at this great big island. You see a lot of the detail here. I can't tell if this is quartz or porcelain, which is the normal problem nowadays. Because it all looks so real. They did an amazing backsplash here, which is just amazing. And it looks like we have Monogram, which is now a standalone company, used to be part of GE. And this looks very sleek. Very nice. You have your flat panel cabinets. Let's go take a look over here. Here's your pantry. And of course, they did what I love is they decked it out here with shelving and lighting. And this is Really amazing. Obviously, this is something you could add later on your own, but just very cool for a pantry. It's a pretty fancy pantry. And if you look at our great room here, you'll see this is 9-foot ceilings, as I mentioned. In this area, at least it appears to be 9. But as we turn the corner and we go into the great room, you're going to go way up in the air. Probably 14-foot ceilings would be my guess. This is amazing in here. Of course, they did a fireplace over here, and it looks like that's an electric fireplace. You have stone all the way to the ceiling, and then they did this amazing chandelier with this amazing wood treatment on the ceiling. So this home, like every model you see, of course, is totally decked out, and something you can personalize when you get with the builder and figure it out. And I'll work with you on all that and try to figure out what works best for your design and your lifestyle. Let's go back this way. Over to the left here, of course, will be your garage. Over to the right here, we have a guest bedroom, I believe. Let's go take a look. This actually might be the primary suite, downstairs primary. I'm trying to get a full idea. Okay, there's that door coming in. So this is kind of a full gen suite, it looks like, which is why it has its own entry. That was this entryway I saw from the its own doorway from the entry there. And so, yeah, this is the first time I've walked through this as well. So it looks like this is its own total suite. This is really cool. You have not only a living area, but a bedroom area, and of course a separate bath area. So yeah, this is a gen suite. This is really cool. This is its own little suite. Your guests, as you've heard me say before, they'll never leave. I mean, this is so nice. Tile all the way to the ceiling here. Of course, they loaded this up with all sorts of design features. Really, really nice. Different tile surfaces, floors. I think this is actually like an engineered wood, I believe. It doesn't feel like tile. It's kind of a little bit softer, which is nice. Okay, let's go take a look upstairs here and walk on this cool single stair and take a look here. This is amazing. I love how they've done this clear glass. I know Toll Brothers did this on a few of their balconies, and I've seen it in a few other builders in town, but it really opens it up and gives it a real modern feel. First thing I see over to the right here is a really nice little bonus room. And I say little, but it's actually a really good sized room. I could see doing desks up here, study area. I could see a pool table up here. It's definitely wide enough. It's a big room. And if you look, you even have some views this way through here between homes, and you have a view kind of down to a courtyard area. So it's really cool. I couldn't really notice that from below, but this courtyard is really nice. So you're kind of building an area between your own walls to keep you protected from the wind and so forth. And of course, in this case, where this home is sitting, you wouldn't have any afternoon sun. That would block all that sun, which is really important in the summer. So let's keep on moving through here and take a look. This is really nice. As we look over here to the left, we see a beautiful, beautiful setup. Look at this. You have high windows all the way up. This area is very open. And it looks like these are probably 9-foot ceilings, is my guess by looking at it. They're not 10s. As I go straight here, I do see 8-foot doors. So you have really nice doors. And let's go to the primary. So now we're in the primary suite. Wow. This is amazing. Of course, it's decked out like every builder does with the show homes, but this is absolutely amazing. This is gorgeous. A good size room. You can look at it. It's a huge bed. Looks like it's a king bed, perhaps a Cal King. They have a full-size couch, and in theory, you could put a great big TV right there if you want a TV in your bedroom. If not, this looks great with a picture. What I like here is this has its own balcony off of the primary suite and a great big window to the left of that. So lots of space, lots of design. They did some ceiling detail work here, just trim work you could always add later. Trim carpenters love doing this kind of stuff, just a little bit different, a little bit unique, gives you a little bit of design to look at. But what I can't get over is this view out here. So let's see if we can get out here. Here we go. So look at this. You have your own private balcony, and look what I see, guys. Look at this view here. So again, you're terraced. You have these amazing views. You can see the whole mountains all below you. The lake over there is gorgeous. Obviously, you're going to have homes below you here, and then homes below them, and homes all the way kind of down. And so no one's going to make any guarantee with you about views, but you can certainly get an idea that depending what goes below you can affect what your final view is going to be. But nonetheless, you're not going to take away all the view. There's nothing you could do this high up to take away all of your views. And I personally, as I mentioned to you, I know the community right below us, which was called Vantage by Blue Heron, and those were phenomenal views. This was the top of a mountain that was kind of above Vantage. And so there's some down there that definitely would offer some good views as well. If you look over to the right, you see lots of mountains that Lake Las Vegas is really famous for, these just amazing views. Let's take a look down at the yard here. So they have these huge pools they built in here. Really nice. Wow, this is gorgeous. They built kind of a patio cover here. It looks to me like you could put some chairs over here, recliner, and sit up there down by the pool. Take in your tan, get your vitamin D. Okay, let's take a look here. We're going to go back inside and check out the rest of this home. Okay, so off of the primary bed area, we have a room, and it is the beautiful primary bath. And so as we step in here, you'll notice, again, first thing you see, huge windows. I mean, you're taking in some amazing views here, and it's all because of the fact that you're at Lake Las Vegas. You want to have the views. So this builder has done a great, phenomenal job at setting you up with these amazing views, just depending on which home site you pick. And of course, they have various premiums, but get with me on that, and we can negotiate the best deal and see what we can get for you, make sure everything works for your dream home. Look at the size of this shower. This thing is huge. It doesn't have a door on this side because it's so huge. The shower head there's one down here, and there's also a rain head here. So if you look at this, it's huge. I love this fancy drain they put in here. Really cool, and nice bench to sit on. Again, these are models, folks, so we don't know from just walking through every one of these what's included, what's not. We can do a study on that for you and give you more details. But like anything else, you can really customize and personalize these to make them really yours. But this is really cool. I love the texture that this tile has too. Look how gorgeous that is. It's just something different. And if we walk over here, there is, of course, the water closet. They wallpapered that one, which you see, and they wallpaper behind here. It's very common nowadays. All of a sudden, wallpaper is a huge deal again when it comes into design. And let's take a look at one of the favorite areas for most people is the closet. And this is gorgeous. Look at this here. This truly is amazing. You have lights all the way up. They put these racks in here so you can pull your clothes and get access to your clothes in here. No matter how short or tall you might be, you can get access to them. This is awesome. This kind of stands in place of having a dresser. You have all this storage space. Every corner, every nook and cranny, you have drawers in here. This is beautiful. They built a seat in the back here with a mirror. So this is really nice, really impressive. So every square inch was utilized in this home to just make this very unique. Let's go check out the rest of the upstairs area and see what we have. And I pull in here to the first bedroom on the right. Again, I haven't walked this before, so it's all new to me. This is a guest room, and it's a good size room. And I love it because it's got a good sized walk-in closet over here. It's one of the complaints you'll hear from a lot of folks is, hey, I want a walk-in closet in my guest bedrooms. Whether it's a kid that lives in there or whether it's a family member or someone else or just a roommate, people like to have their actual storage space. And so as we walk in here, over to the right, there's a bathroom, and it's got the dual sinks here, which is really nice. You can see they really painted this nice. This has this similar texture that Tri Pointe used on the other side of the lake, where it's basically a hand trowel. It's mostly flat, but it also has some texture in it on purpose. So they're trying to show you the modern, but it also blends well because it's showing you, you can see there probably on that footage, it's showing you that textile, the touch. In other words, someone hand troweled this wall, and it looks really cool. If you go in here, this is kind of a separate room within the bathroom, which is always nice and convenient. So you have lots of ways to get in here. People aren't hogging all the space, so to speak. This has a separate tub shower combo. So that's pretty cool. Let's go over here, and then here is the laundry room. So if you see, you have full upstairs laundry, which is awesome. I think all homes should have upstairs laundry. It's something that really makes a lot of sense. If you think about it, so many homes have these laundry rooms downstairs, so you're lugging all your clothes up and down every week, every time you want to do a load of laundry. Well, how about let's solve that and just put a simple pan underneath your washing machine. So if you ever had water leak out of there, it would drain out of there. Problem solved. And now you have this amazing room. You can see this is actually a low voltage panel right here, what they would use for the smart homes, the guts of the home. With, you see an alarm panel up here and those sorts of things. And I'm sure there's part of that that's included and part of that that's customizable. I'm walking into another bedroom here. They've actually made it into a weight room, and this is really cool. Good size closet. This one's not a walk-in. It's actually like the full length of the wall, though. If you look, it's a good size. High ceilings as well. You could build this out with some nice interior cabinetry to it that kind of really finishes it off. Here they did an amazing job. They actually decided to tile this entire wall, which is really over the top. It really shows about the detail and the time and money they spent building these homes. It looks great. This is a great looking room. And then you'll see you have these tall baseboards here too. So no expense was spared in building these models. These are just gorgeous. That's a much higher baseboard than a lot of even the custom builders will use. So it looks really, really great. So guys, this is amazing. Let's keep going here. I'm going to take you down and we're going to go look now at the next home and see what we think. Okay, everyone, plan 2. Let's go take a look at this one. Again, haven't been in it before, so let's go experience it together. It looks really awesome from the outside. Let's go take a browse. The first thing I notice here again is the paver stones on the driveway. Again, don't know from this vantage point if that's included, and I can definitely find out that information at some point when you have questions for me. What I like what they've done here, this garage door is awesome, but that looks so cool. What a different look. So it looks like a wooden garage on a custom home, but it's actually not. Here's this third car, what we might call another garage for a golf cart, or maybe it's for another car, your bikes, or just a storage area. And you can see the rocks they brought in here, guys. Look at these stones. So you can see all the stone in here. It really, really brings together. This builder does a great job at kind of blending together desert and modern together with some of the Mediterranean look and feel. So they've done a good job at this. Okay, so let's go into the front of this plan number 2 and check it out. So we're going to walk up the steps here, which is kind of cool. This is already unique. You're entering kind of through the side of the home, but I've never seen a side entrance so grand. Look how cool this is. So first of all, they have a gate here kind of breaking out this into a little courtyard area. So look how awesome this really is, guys. First of all, they have this amazing area that has some sun coverage here. They put this over it. Of course, you could have something built here custom that really made it unique if you wanted it totally closed in. They have louvered ones that you can adjust. This is just showing you an example of what you can do. But look how cool that is. And what they did is they actually built a feature wall here. And this is so cool. This is, I believe this is not actual stone. This is they make sheets of this stuff that is very thin, and it might be porcelain. This is just beautiful, and they just put the two together, and it's just gorgeous. So I really recommend you come check this out in person. This is so cool. So they made this little courtyard area. On this side, they actually did what's one of my favorite things. I saw this on the other community by Tri Point across the lake on the South Shore, and this is kind of a pass-through. So this is very cool because you can pass your food from inside the house and pass it out here. In this case, they did it like a wet bar, not necessarily pass through for food. Of course, you could pass through the food here, but you can see what they did here. They built a little deck area, and you can open this window up. So this is truly that indoor-outdoor living. I think it's a great idea. I haven't seen any other builders do it. It's really, really nice. Nice size front door here, 8-foot front door. Let's go take a look. I love this door. So like on the other side of the lake as well, it's a swing door. It's not too large. It's not glass. A lot of people still like the wooden doors. It feels, you know, maybe a little more safer and a little different. If I look up here and take a shot, the first thing you notice is how high the ceilings are. They don't have the stringer staircase here. Here they have the framed in, and it looks absolutely amazing. I don't know from this standpoint whether or not the actual stairs can be built as a single stringer here. Maybe, maybe not. is something we can look into. Just give me a call and we'll check it out. Look how high these ceilings are. Those are probably 21, 22 feet high. So let's go take a look here and explore a little bit. Over to the left, if you see, this is the dining area where it has that beautiful pass-through. This is so cool. Again, this is really neat because you're open in the indoor, outdoor. In Vegas, we like to spend a lot of time outside, and when you do, this allows you to kind of both. You're indoors and outdoors at the same time, which is really cool. And they kept it very open here. So going with that modern theme of open, not a lot of boxed off, closed-in areas. So let's walk in here to the kitchen. And we're going to see this beautiful kitchen. They went with some different colors here. You know, what you notice is a lot of the wood colors are coming back in. They're flat panel and it's wood. So one of the things I like to talk about, I always found it amazing. A few years back, everyone wanted real wood. That was the big thing. And that was the goal. Hey, we want real wood cabinets. We don't want laminate. And for a while, white was the big popular color, and then a few years later, white wasn't even something that builders had to select from, at least in Vegas. White was out. Right after the crash that was in the mid-2000s, you know, by the time 2008 and 9 came, I worked at builders that didn't even have white available anymore. And then what happened is all of a sudden, as the modern became the big thing, it became more about flat panel. And so this is what you see now. Most builders have flat panel. And most of the time now, the wood is actually laminate. It's not actual real wood. So people are paying more for the laminate. Now, I can't tell by looking at these what they're made out of, but my guess would be is that they are a laminate of some sort. There's different types. One of them is called a foil. There's just different processes to build them, but most of these are not real wood. Now, I could be wrong. This might be real wood, but my guess is that it's not. And if you look here, they took this little butler's pantry all the way to the ceiling, and it has kind of its own little pantry here to hide all your goods. So you have a little area, be perfect for like a coffee bar or a little bit of storage of those sorts of things, maybe blenders or an air fryer, things like that. And look what they did here that's really cool is this island is huge. So you have this cool, they use a textured stone. This is probably a textured granite is my guess. They roll these large texture machines over these to give it a texture, and it's just gorgeous. And look what they did here for the dining portion of this island. It's unbelievable. So what they've done here is they've made this to where it's actually like your kitchen table. So you have chairs on both sides of it. Instead of just having a great big island with chairs on the edge like is kind of common, this is not common. This is kind of building a table onto the island. And you'll see, of course, they have a built-in refrigerator on this one. They didn't have it on the last one, so obviously it's something you probably could add into any one of them as if you wanted to go gas. This is looks like microwave on top, oven on the bottom, and a separate stove top here. So obviously there's going to be choices when you go to the design center and meet with the folks on what you can do. Let's go take a peek over here at this great room. And you can see, again, higher ceilings in this area. These look more like 12 foot versus 14 in the other one. The other ones could even be 16. But nonetheless, you see the detail here. This is an actual real fireplace. You can see the flame glowing there. You can tell the difference, but it's really cool. I don't know what kind of selections they have, if you can choose from electric or gas or how that works. We can certainly find out for you. Over here, you can see they've done stone all the way to the ceiling, benches on both sides, and it's pretty cool. This is gorgeous. You see the wood on the ceiling. So all about detail. These builders have done everything they can to really give you some detail. And another thing, off of the main room here now, you have a dining table. So what I'm seeing now, kind of a comeback in some ways, although they're more open, are dining rooms. So they don't necessarily have to be a separate dining room like grandma had, so to speak, but they're usually off of the living area. Toll Brothers have a lot of those, if you might remember from my last video. And you're having dining areas, but it's open to everything, but it still can be used as like a formal area. You could put a great big table in here like they have here, have all your guests over, great for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, what have you. And if you look at the room, this is a very open space. If you look through here, there's lots to look at. You have the sliders over here to the one side. You have windows right behind you, which of course we're seeing the pool. We're seeing the view fencing behind you. So I'm assuming that most of these home sites probably have it looks like a 3/4 view fence. So you might remember last time it was like a half view, half block in some different communities I've shown. This one looks like it's a 3/4 view rather than all block or all view or half view. If you look, what I love about this, you have a separate area that's very nice and it's kind of blocked from the wind. That's just for entertaining. You can sit out here and you can see these couches are so popular now. They're kind of your indoor, outdoor couch. So they look like an indoor couch, but they're actually outdoor couches. So they're waterproof and weatherproof and all those good things. Okay, let's keep going on this one. Off of the kitchen area here, back here, I notice a huge bedroom. So look at this. You can see they did some of that woodwork, those faux beams again. They aren't actually holding any weight, but they sure look like they are. They look really cool. That brings a little bit of a rustic touch to it, maybe a little bit of a bohemian feel as well to this modern. And if we walk in this bedroom, you can see the spa that's raised in the back. And I love it. What I've done here is they've done a tile on that's not black. And let me tell you this, I was selling homes out here for 5 years, and out here, meaning in Lake Las Vegas, I've had my license for over 20 years, but I can tell you one thing, black pools look so cool, especially with modern homes, but they don't really work that well with the calcium out here. The water is so hard that they get calcium stains very quickly. Even this color, you'll eventually see some calcium on this because there'll be a calcium line. The water is so hard here that we get from the Colorado River that you sometimes will see you will see some water lines, and a lot of times that's some upkeep. So the darker color you get, yes, it looks cool, but you're going to have some maintenance on it. Just so you know, a lot of people don't really mind. They'll just pay someone to come out and try to get that stuff off of the stone. Just a little hint for you. Okay, look over here and we see a nice little water closet. And here is the best room. Look at this. This is an amazing primary bath. And so you see 2 sinks here. Turn to the left. You see a really cool tub in here. Nice window here as well. And obviously you can put some blinds, window treatments here. In this particular home, you can see there's not a lot of privacy issues because those windows over there can't see into where we're at. But nonetheless, you could put blinds here. You could tint this window, whatever you chose to do. Great big shower area attached to it. So there's lots of space in here, which is what people like. People like space in their primary bath suite. You want to have some room, right? I mean, if you're going to be spending a lot of time at home, you want to have a nice space. You can see they put nice backsplashes here all the way to the ceiling, of course, which is really nice. And what you see common, these types of faucets here, really amazing. This is very cool. It's kind of that gold that's really popular right now, and it blends nicely with the wood. You can see these are all floating cabinets in here, so it looks great. Let's go take a look at the closet. Okay, and so you can see they did kind of a minimalist style in here, which is kind of cool, actually. There's no rule that says you have to deck it out and make it look like a department store. I mean, you're really trying to get functionality. So this would be a lot less expensive of a way to finish off a closet. If they still did a piece here that has, area for dirty clothes, you have a dresser, hutch type thing here, area for shoes. Not enough room for most women's shoes that I've met, but definitely room for shoes. Okay, and if we look back to the right here, you're going to see the laundry room. And I love this because it connects to the primary suite and it keeps you to where you're self-contained, but yet you also have access to the rest of the home from here. So this is actually really cool. So we're just going to cut back through here and take a look. And so we're walking right now, we're in the powder room. And so you can see it's a nice room. They always deck these out. This has a nice wall treatment all the way up about halfway, and they connect into wallpaper. It's gorgeous. So now we end up back on this part of the home. So that's really a downstairs primary living area in a very open home, which is just gorgeous. Let's go take a look back here. So over to the right, when we first came in, this looks to me like it's some sort of an office. We have the dual doors here that are both, in this case, in swung. You probably could put a various style here. I'm sure it doesn't come with these normal type of doors. This almost looks like a pivot door, but it's like a dual pivot door. So it's really cool. I mean, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind here is you could do what they've done is make it a pool table room. But even better yet, you can make this an office. I think this would be an awesome office. You have all kinds of detail work here. Of course, they did on the ceiling. They're just giving you ideas. You can deck these out. They use a lot of wallpaper in this home now. So a lot of these models are really doing it. They have trim work dividing that wallpaper. So this is really nice. This would be just a great office. You can see that porcelain out there and that backdrop, which is really cool. So let's go take a look upstairs. So one of the things you'll notice in this home is they have some really cool flooring in here. And this is probably an engineered wood. real popular. A lot of people like engineered wood or tile in Vegas because it's cool to the feet. So in the summertime when it's 108 out, you have a nice cool home. So this is like a large bonus room, and this is where I would put the pool table. This is a perfect room for a pool table. I would use that downstairs room as an office, and I would make this the pool table room perhaps. They've made it a great room, so obviously you can make it whatever fits your lifestyle. But this is a huge room. This is a great big room. You can even put a bigger size pool table probably than the one they showed downstairs in this room. So that's really nice. Let's go take a look here at the outside patio. So this is attached to it. You can see they've thought of everything. These are brand new models, by the way, as I mentioned earlier, so they're not even totally set up, but I love this. I love how it's covered, and this is really cool. You can see these mountain views. You can enjoy all these views from your front patio. And I think this is really unique. You don't see a lot of homes anymore that have patios on the front of the home. So it's kind of neat. It's just something a little different, but yet it still has a lot of privacy. And again, you walk back into this amazing room. Just this door alone is cool, how you have it opens up in the middle. So both of these open, so you can truly have an indoor-outdoor living. So you're in here playing some pool or watching some TV with friends, and it's an indoor-outdoor. There's about 2-3 months on each side of the winter to where you could have potentially open doors and really enjoy that weather. So let's take a look back here as we walk back through the hallway, check out the rest of the upstairs here. If I look over to the left, here is another bedroom. Look, these are big beds and big furniture. So I love what they've done here. This is just a guest room, and it's nice. You know, the nice thing here, again, it has a large window, so you have a view. So again, depending on your living and what you want to do, you could make this an office as well. I mean, this is just gorgeous. They're nice and high. Obviously, the model is going to be probably amongst the best views of the community. It's not always true, but I think that you'll find that these are amazing for sure. This is all planned out, right? When they bought this land, they figured out exactly how they're going to build and take advantage of all those views. So if we look over to the left here, we see here is a bathroom that serves the 2 bedrooms up here. Dual sinks, really modern fixtures, nice cabinetry that matches the other areas of the home. And this is a shower. I'm sure that this is normally a shower tub combo, most likely. And then you have tile flooring here, back connecting to the wood. A lot of people prefer tile in all wet areas, although most engineered wood can handle water just as much as a tile floor could. And then here is this other guest room. And this is really cool. I love the way they laid this out, because not only do you have a walk-in closet again, you can see they put in kind of nice shelves here, but not carried away. The only difference is they're colored. So instead of using white shelving and white racking, they use black racking with a colored shelving. So it's a really cool way to make it look really expensive, although it's really an inexpensive way to go. And this is a nice room. What I really notice about this, the way they laid this home out is basically genius, because they once again have tied into the view here. So this person has the same views as the room we just saw. You're kind of looking back over here, and it's the same direction. And there's a window over to the side. Depending what home's next to you, you might enjoy some pretty good privacy here, but you'll probably end up putting up some drapes or window treatments just to ensure you have privacy. Look at that view, guys. I mean, that is just amazing. You can just kind of see everything up here. And what's really neat about that mountain range is when the sun sets, the sun rises in the morning and then sets in the afternoon, you see all kinds of different views and visions up here. So it's kind of cool. And so let's walk back here. And guys, that wraps up this house. So the main thing I leave with this number 2 is this is an amazing home. It kind of has room for everything you might want. I mean, office, if that's what you want to do downstairs, pool table room, guest, bonus room upstairs, a couple of guest rooms, your primary down, which is one of the biggest requests I hear as a new home salesperson. One of the most common requests you hear in Las Vegas is, do you have either a single story or primary down? And if you say no to those, you've already cut off a huge portion of buyers. That's what people want, and that's what this builder has decided to give them. One last thing I just noticed is the ceiling in this room. I don't know if they call this a tray ceiling or what the builder might call it, but they put this wood and painted it up there. So it kind of gives it a beachy, bohemian feel as well. So let's go take a look at the next home. Okay, everyone, so this is the single story. This is called plan number 1. Let's go take a look and we will see what this home has to offer. So you'll see these paver stones again. This is an amazing look, kind of a look like slate from years ago. The slate was real popular about 10, 15 years ago. This is kind of bringing some of that look back. It's got lots of multicolor to it. It's beautiful. You'll see here on the garage, they did a real modern, and this is a glass garage. So I'm sure there's lots of different choices when it comes to the garage doors and what you want to do with that. But this is definitely one of them, and it looks pretty cool. Let's go take a look at this home. We're going to go up here again. You'll see they did kind of that courtyard concept to where you have a pony wall here with a gate. That makes it really nice. And a lot of people will like this right away. As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, people want single story. So here's your single story for you. They put this grass, artificial turf between the stones here and really customize this. This right here is something you most likely would do after you took possession of the home. We can get you in touch with several different landscape pros that can do something just like this. But this is a model, so I love looking at models because you get some great ideas. Really nice here. This is a great looking home. Of course, you have the nice glass pivot door. And not too large of a pivot door either. Some of the pivot doors that some of the builders have are cool, but they're so big, they're almost too heavy. This one is nice and easy to open. Wow, look at this, guys. The first thing that happens here is it draws your eyes all the way out to the lake. And so you see the good chunk of the lake here. Of course, the mountains beyond it. That's Arizona way over there. You can see that's actually in Arizona. So it's really cool. If you look really hard, you can actually see the water line of Lake Mead. That's so cool over there. I bet you in summer, if there's a lot of water flowing out of that Colorado River with all the snowfall they're getting over there, you'll probably have some Lake Mead views from here as well, at least certain times of the year. That's been true of other home sites in this height range and other communities. One of the things I want to point out is that here you see a full view fence. So we'd have to talk to the home builder and see what sort of a view fence you would have on each home site. It probably varies. What I mentioned a few minutes ago, that one had like a 3/4. So I can't say any of that is actually legit. We'd have to touch base and see what each home site offers, because that was a 3/4 view fence. This is a full view fence. So it probably does depend. But good size yard. If you look here, folks, there's definitely room for a pool. You see this huge multi-slide door where you could slide it right into each other and open it up for true indoor-outdoor living. Now let's turn around and see this amazing modern kitchen. And they have went fully out here. You can see that ceiling detail they did. They got that lit, so it has some shadowing to it. Just looks gorgeous. There you see this amazing light fixture. Truly, again, brings in that bohemian type feel to it. This is just awesome. I love the dark woods. If we look over to the left, here's that kind of dining area again. Again, as I mentioned, they're not necessarily in a separate room anymore. They're out with everyone else, but it's truly a dining area, right? People want to have an area to dine and entertain. This whole sidewall was turned into a wet bar, which is so cool looking. Of course, you have that cool chandelier there as well. So this area is actually very gorgeous. And you have some high ceilings in here. I'm going to guess these look like they're probably 12-foot, maybe 14-foot ceilings. So I can just tell you that it feels very grand and very large, and they're tall enough that this ceiling detail they did actually works really well. So here they did a large island. This is kind of a very modern look that you're seeing in a lot of homes. I love that they've decided to use the edges that are a very thick type edge. So a lot of builders in the modern space are doing these real small, little thin edges. And I think people want this. People like a real thick feel. It just feels so much strong. It's really about how they do the edge. It's not that the whole granite or a piece of stone, whether it's artificial or man-made or whether it's natural, it's not about how thick the stone really is. It's about how they did the edge and how it makes it look. So that's just my own opinion. I love the big thickness. They did the waterfall edge here. It looks great. Here you have a gas appliance in the back. That's a monogram again. A vent hood going all the way up, which is kind of a hidden vent hood, which is a certain look people like as well. Here they did the large. So this is so cool over here, guys. What I love about this space is this actually could be like a coffee bar area. It's really nice. You can have separate appliances over here. Over here to the left, the whole island, or I should say the whole counter space, turns to the back over here. You have cabinets below, of course, a nice full backsplash, and you have cabinets all the way to the top. If you walk over here, here's your oven microwave combo. Again, it's monogram. It's really nice. It's fancy looking, very sleek, very modern. And then here's a full pantry in the back. And so what's really cool about this is they decked it out. Of course, it looks beautiful, but you don't even need that space when you think about it, because look at all the cabinetry you have. You have uppers and lowers everywhere, all the way through this. So I'm very impressed with the space you get. So that's just a nice bonus that they have that pantry. Then you look this way to see, you're going to see the cabinets again all over, uppers and lowers. And if we look over here, let's go take a look at the primary suite. And I'm excited to show you this. I'm going to walk back here, and what we see in here is really cool because I see what I love, which is vaulted ceilings. So first of all, this is definitely the primary suite. I knew that because I can tell you that I know they're going to take advantage of the views. But what I love is they've done these vaulted ceilings here. And it's so cool because they covered the whole vaulted ceiling with wood. It looks awesome. You can see those beams they put up there. They're, amazing looking beams. And even down to the detail. Look at all the windows on this wall. And what I love is there was no shortcuts here. These windows actually are at a slant. If you can see, they match the angle of the ceiling perfectly. And yet you have large windows down below. And this is really amazing. So you're actually, again, you're bringing all that light in to kind of give you that indoor-outdoor feel. I mean, you're out at Lake Las Vegas. You want to feel that you are near the lake. And this kind of brings the outdoor truly in. So this is pretty cool. If we look over here, it's a good size space here. You have a huge bed. That's definitely a king bed. And all kinds of room. They did this really cool details inside. Let's go take a look here at the primary bath. So the first thing I notice is this great big large format tile in here, kind of in a staggered way, really nice. And what I notice here is they have an amazing vanity space. And you can see they did tile all the way to the ceiling in here. It looks great. And let's take a look at this. Yeah, I don't really know for sure what this is. It's some sort of a material of a treatment. It's not necessarily tile though. I don't really know what that is. That's cool stuff. It could be even like a 3D wallpaper, I guess. It's pretty neat. I mean, it looks very more durable than paper. It has kind of like some grout lines on it. So it's some sort of a new material. That's cool stuff. I like that. I haven't seen that before. That's neat. So anyways, let's go take a look here. The shower is huge. If you look at the shower behind me, this one happens to have a door on it, probably because you have the rain head, which is fairly close to the door. And there you have your regular shower head as well as a bench and that cool drain again. And if you look, these showers are huge nowadays. I love it. And if we walk over here, you're going to see there's a good sized water closet. They've put wallpaper all the way. And we walk into the closet here. So this is a primary closet. And this is nice. I would say this is kind of a blend. If we're looking at closets as a separate product, they did a good job of the 3 different models showing you different ones. You have the full, retail space in the first one where it's all lit up and just absolutely stunning. You had the one in the last one was more of a downscale, although nice colors. And but yet scaled down quite a bit, just kind of more racks and shelving. And this one is in between because you can see it's not fully enclosed. You do have drywall behind you. So this is a kind of a closet lover's dream because you can see all the different price ranges right in front of you here. But this is cool. It does all the tricks. It's certainly really nice. It has drawers, so that's kind of a bank of drawers there. You have up above storage, and you could of course store stuff above here or build your own closet all the way to the ceiling. That could be done as well, or darn near. Here you see the corners, and of course you could hang clothes in all those. So this is great. So guys, this is the ultimate home because it's a single story. It has amazing views. You have vaulted ceilings in this primary suite, which I love. It just keeps it more open feeling. And let's go check out the rest of the home and see what we got here. So if we look over here, I don't want to forget to show you this, which is the office. So when I very first walked in, I gave you the sneak peek of it. This is awesome. You walk into the office here. I'm sure you could have doors here if you wanted. Here they chose to make it really more of an open feel, but this is a gorgeous office. Very modern. You can see they used a lot of the dark woods and just gorgeous. They put a full bank of shelves and drawers back here. It just looks gorgeous, all kinds of space. Let me take a look at this ultimate office chair. Nothing like getting the feeling. We like to have homebuyers come into these homes and actually get a feel for how you would live in it. And one of the things I really notice is how high the ceiling is in this room. It's just huge as well. Okay, so let's go show you around the rest of the home. Okay, we're gonna go back out here towards the kitchen, turn right here, and this is the powder room. So you can see this is nice. Look, they even did like an engineered wood up on the ceiling. That's only in Vegas, right, where you're going to see this kind of detail, even in a powder room. But this is where your guests come, right? So when you have guests come, they're going to see this and notice this detail and say, wow, this is beautiful. Kind of a little bit of storage here in the hallway. Different ways you could dress that up if you like. And this goes out to the garage. So this is really a key drop shelf. So you drop your wallet. I would add an outlet here so you can charge your phones without taking them to other rooms and just leave your phone at the door. So that's kind of nice. Let's go walk back out here and take a look at the rest of the home. And over here, first thing to my right we see is the laundry room. So if you look here, we see laundry and nice shelving in here. This is really nice. If you see, you have nice high ceilings, which keeps this room feeling large, but it's a utility room. It is what it is, but it's definitely sufficient for what you would expect in a home of this size. And if you look here again, we get to enjoy the tall ceilings. We have lots of light coming in from the windows, which go into the courtyard here. We saw this when we first came in. One thing I just noticed is the way that they did that stucco is really cool right there. It kind of has those, see those lines and that detail? That is really cool. I've never actually seen that before. I didn't notice it when I was first walking in. So that's gorgeous. Let's go take a look here to the right. So here you'll notice this is a bathroom with dual vanities. I love this stone. It's really cold too, so I think it's real. It's probably a marble. Gorgeous cabinetry with the dark cabinetry behind it. So here you can see they kind of went with the brushed steel together with the granite. And then you go in here and you see a bath shower combo with nice high ceilings. So this is nice, and let's go take a look back here. So as we go look at the rest of this home, we're going to see a couple of smaller guest rooms, because this also could be used as an office if you wanted, an exercise room, whatever you have, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. This is a separate closet, nice walk-in. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of people want the walk-ins for the guest bedrooms, just so there's more storage. Okay, so let's take a look at this last bedroom here. This is also a guest room. This is the room they actually turned into the exercise room. They read my mind. They just made it in a different room. So this is actually a vaulted ceiling again, which is so cool. So this would be a really cool office. You could make this, if you have like a his and his or his and her or her dual offices, you could have one up front for the office and one back here for the office. This is really cool. I think I would make this my office because it has the vaulted ceiling, which I love. Being a tall guy, I really notice the ceiling is one of the first things I notice. Here you have a nice walk-in closet again. So this is pretty cool, and I'm pretty impressed by what I see here. So this is amazing. Okay, everyone, thanks for coming through these homes with me. They are amazing. Do me a favor, subscribe to my channel so I can give you more content like this and I can keep you in touch with all my new tours. One thing that's really important is if you have even the slightest interest in buying one of these homes, make sure you contact me directly. I can help you out. Like I said, I have over 20 years experience in the business. I have my MBA in finance. I'm a real estate broker in the state of Nevada, and this is what I do. I focus on new homes. So feel free to give me a call. My phone number is 702-530-9850. Again, 702-530-9850. Call me and I will help you through all of the process and show you exactly how to buy one of these homes. Make sure you get the best deal and make sure that you get exactly what you want for your dream home. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and I'll bring you some more great videos in the future. Thank you. Take care.